Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. So far, a bit of an upset here. StarTale-yoe leading the charge with a 2-0 victory. And Jin Air fans starting to panic a little bit, maybe.
Starting to sweat, man. Pretty unexpected wins, but unexpected to some. But not too surprising that Life and Leenock can pull it out, especially when we've seen their form in the last couple of weeks. They're playing fantastically, and it's going to be very interesting. This next match coming up. Cure versus Sun. Yeah. I think Sun has what it takes. I looked at this matchup before, and I'm like, I don't know who to choose to win because this is a very close match. Like both these guys, both very, very good players. Not on top of not like on top right now, but they can beat each other for sure.
And we are dead split, which is our producer's nightmare, man. He's like, I don't want to have an even number of casters on here.
I wonder why not.
But yeah, it's dead 3-3 now. The San voters. That's me, Kanata, and Monday Caster. You and Brendan and Daehyun are all saying Cure.
Yeah, I looked at it, and it was a hard decision. I mean, it could go either way, in my opinion. It's definitely not a one-sided affair. But I feel like Cure has been doing pretty well lately. His most recent kind of TVP was against Classic, and I believe it was the SSL, and he went 2-3. He was showing some pretty decent play, but nothing special.
Yeah, San had a terrible time, by the way, in the individual leagues.
He did.
He had a rough time in the GSL.
He bombed out of the GSL,
He bombed out of the GSL. He also lost to Myungshik 0-3 in the SSL.
That's right.
So this guy is having a really tough time. By the way, this producer looks so much like San, as one of our producers at SPO, that actually the first time I saw this guy at the studio, I was like, did San retire and start working at SPO-TV?
That's so funny.
From a distance, they actually look insanely similar. It's actually uncanny. This camera shot, the lighting doesn't do it justice, but if you see this guy from far away, you're like, why is San wearing a headset and doing lighting tests? Like, why is he doing that?
Oh, man. Yeah, it actually looks insanely similar.
But yeah, he bombed out of both leagues, 0-3, and if I'm not mistaken, last place in the GSL.
So why did you go for San, then?
Because I like this guy in a best-of-1. He's the aggressive guy who's got the strat, who's got the plan. San's a man with a plan, and he always has been. As long as he doesn't block his own nexus with a pylon, his plans have worked out decently well for him in the past.
I remember that, yeah. He can, yeah, he's very aggressive, as you said. I definitely think he could be aggressive. What map was it again? Was it Deadwing?
It is, yes, in fact, Deadwing.
Got it right.
I just checked the lobby. That's why I knew. I'm like,
oh, I actually could have done that.
I don't even have a better memory than you. I'm just like, I've been using that observing piece while you were gone. I know how to cheat.
Yeah. So I definitely think we could see something like that on this map. Though it is a pretty big map, and it can go to late game pretty easily.
By the way, does Daehyun look like that guy from Sherlock?
Cumberpatch?
Yeah, that's what his name is. Yeah. Yeah, kind of. I kind of see it.
I guess in a way, maybe a little bit.
That guy's a really interesting actor, man. I don't know. I saw that show once, and I was like, this is just not my style. I'm not sure what's about it that I don't like, but...
Who do you think you look like? Who has told you someone that you look like?
You've always told me I look like Hugh Grant. I don't think I look like him at all. Like, not even close. Like,
dude, I got a list. I got like a page at home. I can like pages and pages of people that look like me apparently because I have long hair. Like,
you're actually the
Ego
guy...
Raptor, like the guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you're the guy from Game of Thrones.
Faceless assassin dude.
Yeah, you are actually him.
I got so many, actually.
Like, people are actually speculating in the new season of Game of Thrones, who's he going to appear as? Because, is he changing his face?
Yeah.
I actually think that you haven't told us, but you were on your vacation in Australia. Pretty sure Moonglade is actually playing the assassin now. He's actually using Moonglade's face in the upcoming season. I think that's what's happening.
We'll have to wait and see, guys.
But yeah, you're definitely that guy. Like, the first time I saw his appearance, I was like, is that Moonglade?
Well, I wish I could speak like that, that's for sure. Like, that guy was... badass, man.
He really was. But now that we had that downtime sorted out here, let's intro these players. This is Cure's third time playing.
Dragon Force. This guy is sick, man.
Yeah, Dragon Force.
I love Dragon Force. I haven't listened to them in a long time, man, but fantastic to play too.
Super, super fun music for sure. Very energetic. Very much can get you pumped. Cure has a terrible record overall in Pro League. He hasn't broken 50%, and also his record versus Protoss is the worst. But let's be frank, most of that's from last season where TVP was almost impossible to win.
It's all from last season, man. I mean, like looking at this season, he's 2-0 so far, right? He hasn't lost the game just yet. So it's, you know, it's a new year. It's a new start for everyone. They get a second chance. Even Terra gets a second chance, and he took that chance and beat BL last week.
Well, I am voting Son. Son's got that upward arrow based off of, you know, his recent performance, I think, in Korea outside of the SSL and the GSL. For example, like the matches that we saw from him in qualifiers, who he beat in qualifiers, really impressed a lot of people because a lot of Koreans were saying, you know, this guy got a bunch of wins in Europe with his aggressive style, but if he comes back here, he'll never compete. And he actually showed up, man, and took some names.
Yeah, he did qualify for GSL Code S. I mean, that in itself is amazing. And yeah, he has been doing very well in qualifiers. He's kind of be going the Terminator sort of style of just doing well in qualifiers and bombing out when it counts. Hopefully not today.
Well, let's see how he does today. I think in a best of one on Deadwing in this matchup, if Cure is not ready for that aggressive Son, he could have some trouble. He better be ready, though, because if Son wins this, StarTale-yoe is going to take a 3-0. Would be amazing for their indicator. Let's find out if they can do it right now. The top left in red, it's Cure for Jenner Green Wings. And to the bottom right in blue for StarTale-yoe, it's Son representing Yoe. Flash Wolves here on this team, just like Lenok.
That's right. Another big hitter. Was living in Europe, and one of his 2 wins in Pro League this year was actually against the Terran. Was against Yoda.
That's right. A lot of blink pressure. I think that was on Sejong, if I'm not mistaken, if I think back. Son is a player that is so predictable in that he will be aggressive, but you don't always know exactly how he's going to do it. You know, if you go back and watch his GSL group, you could see that his playstyle in that matchup was almost so predictable that eventually it just caused him to bomb out. But in this matchup, there's so many different ways to be aggressive. It could be oracles, it could be proxy oracles, it could be an immortal all-in, it could just be early, 10 gate, for example, and some early mothership core stalker pressure. Not really on this map, but on other maps, for example.
Yeah, I mean, this map is so big, especially in these positions. Cross map, there is a lot of time these players have to go into that macro game. It's going to be interesting to see how Kira's going to play this as well. He's going to be very aggressive early on. Obviously, most Terrans are. They obviously want to go for that sort of early aggression with Widowmine drop on the ram with Marines and etc., trying to find those probe kills early.
It's a very economic gate, by the way, that we saw from Son on 14. Almost makes me wonder if he's going to go gate Nexus core. We have seen this a lot on this map because Terrans like the CC first, just like Kira's doing. So he's going to actually go ahead and drop that assimilator down, though.
Yeah, playing it safe.
Could still go gate Nexus core. It's absolutely viable. It looks like he will.
Yeah, it kind of looks like he's going for more of a safer style. Obviously, going to be able to get the mothership core out early enough. Obviously, the Stalker as well. Yeah, and straight for that Nexus.
So this is a great opening versus CC first because it's so safe against some sort of like regular Reaper build. You're going to have that out in time to defend. You have to micro your probes, for example. But that sort of build is so rare that you don't have to worry about it too much, so you can afford to go gate Nexus core. You can take that little risk. It's much safer than a Nexus first. It's more of a catch-all safe eco opening here that we see from Son. And actually, not really, I think, what Cure is going to expect because Son has been so aggressive recently.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, but this map, you got to look at this map and be like, how aggressive can he be efficiently? Because it is such a big map, and he now knows it's cross spawns, and there's so much distance between each other. It's so much time for Son to go into that mid to late game, get that army that he desires with Storm and Colossi and whatnot. Yeah. And for Cure, it's gonna be hard for him to find a way in. And I don't know how comfortable he is with the late game.
Yeah, Cure is excellent when it comes to late game TVZ. We've seen that in the past from him. His TVT is pretty solid as well. But he came all the way from Busan, actually. Both of those guys did.
Wow.
Just to point that out.
That's really cool.
And they're both actually fans of the opposing team. The guy on the left, StarTale fan, the guy on the right, Jenner, if I didn't mix that up. But this probe will scout everything, as well as a third Rax, actually. Because that's not just a late second Rax. He knows that's a third Rax reasonably, right? But he knows that, like, with this, he doesn't probably want to go Oracle.
Nope. Getting that Twilight. And yeah, 3 racks is very early on. No gas so far. Obviously want to get those Marine count out so he can deal with any sort of Oracle harassment if there was some.
I really like the Scout, the follow-up to the Scout and the Twilight Council, because you know that when your opponent has a 3rd barracks on your cross spawns, you don't really have to worry too much about the Marine pressure because it's going to take so long to get to your base. You should be fine anyways. And then Blink is great against a heavy Marine count. It's also great against a late Stim, which you know your opponent's going to have a late gas because you saw his 3rd barracks. So he has a 3rd barracks instead of 2 gases. So that's just something else to consider. And he rushes the Blink out right away here.
Yeah, we're going to see some very aggressive play from San. You know, not surprised it is San after all. He's going to look for a decent piling position with that probe. No doubt about that. Now that he knows exactly what he's up against, obviously, as you're saying, it is going to be only Marines for quite some time getting that early 3rd racks. He can do a lot of work with Stalkers.
Yeah. Just starting to get them out here to deny Scouts. I guess the Crane Commentator is just highlighting this point. Sometimes a place where like TY would siege up or something. Not exactly sure what they're talking about there, but I guess he doesn't have that covered for Reapers. She says that the reason why she watches StarCraft is because of Kanata. So cute.
Wow. And it is going to be a 4-gate Stalker. We are still seeing probes being made, nothing too all-in. I think he can transition pretty easily from this, as we do see players like Hero, for instance, love to go Blink into transition into the 3rd base, into double upgrade, etc., etc. And not a bad map to do it on.
But this is no Blink Feign build. This is like, it's not an all-in, but it is insanely heavily committed to. And even though he has probes behind this, this has to do a ton of damage.
He has stopped probe production now, so it essentially is going to be insanely aggressive. And yeah, you're absolutely right. He has to do damage with this.
It's on the border of all-in, but it's not quite an all-in. You know, it's like one of those builds that is designed to do a massive amount of damage and then transition behind. He's probably not going to win the game with this.
I mean, look at that bio army already as well. It's perfect for dealing with Stalkers. He does have 4 Marauders out already. 2 more on the way. Stim still being researched.
This is all about the Blink Micro right now and the Time Warp. If he gets a great Time Warp on this army that doesn't have Stim, then that could just end the game. All right, he's getting hyped. They're actually... They got movie tickets.
They got movie tickets. Good on them. And he just did the bio in position. He blinks forwards.
Okay, blinks forward in here. Now it's all about that Time Warp. What can he get? SCV is coming in here to help fight, and he actually just blinks out. The Mothership Core loses all of its shields, but that didn't really get a whole lot of damage done at all, San.
I mean, he was in position for it, and I was really surprised with that blink forwards. Like, what is he going to do against this many Marauders this early on? He should be going, he should be poking maybe the bunker, try and get that down. Force Cura to spread just a little bit more. So this is nice. Trading SCV is going to have to transition very, very quickly, though. You see that robo going down. An extra gas is being made.
Yeah, chrono boosting probes. Needs to get those probes in the gas. Can threaten the main again because he knows bunkers weren't made, and he also knows Stim isn't quite done yet. But, I mean, I would be scared to even blink in at this point because of the fact that Stim's got to be pretty close, and he just has too many Marauders. The Marauder count is just too high.
Way too many.
Making sentries at home, getting ready to hold some counter pressure. Building that energy up, going double forge. I like that. But, you know, Cura's read this really well. He's not making any extra bunkers. He doesn't need to. No, he knows where he's at in this game.
It was a very easy hold for a Blink Stalker. Obviously, not the best map to be doing Blink Stalkers on, but still just a great build, a great greedy build into 3 racks from Cura. Just set him up perfectly for this mid-game sort of pressure.
This is an insane amount of Marauders. I almost feel like the double forge is too much. It's cross-spawn on this map, so it's going to take a little while, but I don't know, man. This is a lot of pressure. Combat Shield's going to be done as well as +1. When he hits that base,
I mean, looking at what he has, he's making an Immortal now. He's going to have to get a lot of Immortals out. He's going to be seeing the bio in just a second. He's going to have to get out of here. And you know what? I think Cure has like a killing sort of a push coming. We only see 2 sentries. That's not enough to keep bio out. I mean, there's going to be a Nexus Cannon as well, but there's Marauders, a lot of Marauders in this mix.
This is just so many Marauders. That's the key point. 13 Marauders and 19 Marines. It's almost a 50-50 ratio here. All these expensive Marauders that just deal so much damage so quickly. And that next going to buy time. San tries to do a blink pick off, but he fails. And with all this pressure, instead of just trying to commit, he just takes a 3rd CC. He's going to try to contain here and abuse the fact that no Colossi are out yet.
Yeah. On the way very soon they will be. And we do see plus 1-1. Halfway done for San now. So he is going to try and maintain at least some sort of advantage in this game, getting those early upgrades. though it is a very risky kind of deal.
It's insanely risky, but the only reason why I even can attempt to do this is because we're talking about cross-spawn Deadwing, and this warp-in is so nice. It's a good check, and if there's nothing to answer for it, it might even force a cancel. It's definitely going to delay that CC. Cure stims in again, though. He knows the Nexus Cannon was on cooldown. This time he's just going to fight underneath it because he knows he has enough bio to kill those Zealots. Widowmine's coming to support as well. Sean is in a lot of trouble. His first Colossus is still not out yet. And this might just be too much bio. I think it is. I think this might just end the game. It's going to do too much damage.
Just way too much damage. Simply too much bio.
GG.
Great defense from Cure. That Blink Stalker, highly aggressive Blink Stalker, just did absolutely nothing. And Cure just casually walks across the map and kills him.
Yeah. Just carefully executing that last attack. And you know what? Jin Air hangs in there. They had a rough start, but they are holding on tight. Now what's really interesting, though, is their fate lies in the hands of Trap, a player we have not seen consistent results from since like 2013.
Well, man, it's going to be Trap versus Alive. We could say the same for both players. This is going to be a wonky game, man. I have no idea what's going to go on. We haven't seen Alive in so long, and when we did see him, he wasn't playing that great, Wolf.
No, he has not shown the best games in recent times. And what's funny about